With the ending of support for Windows 10 coming up here in October 2025, many people with older hardware, maybe not even older hardware, or just they're unhappy with Windows 11 because it's slow and buggy and just looks like a Mac. I don't personally like Macs, so I don't like the look of Windows 11. But these people are considering a migration to Linux. This is potentially going to cause an influx of new users um, with opportunities for Linux communities to make the transition to a positive experience with Linux or the Linux ecosystem. Linux is not Ubuntu or Tumbleweed or Leap. Linux is that underlying foundation, and then all the distros build upon that foundation to give users their experience. The Linux community and various distributions are taking a proactive and welcoming approach. What they're doing is targeting campaigns. Organizations like openSUSE have launched campaigns such as Upgrade to Freedom to promote Linux as a sustainable alternative to bloated Windows, the spine of Windows, and whatnot. Plenty of educational resources out there to help users, including these campaigns from openSUSE Linux, my channel, Gumshoe.tech on YouTube. I try to help people out. I'm not that only channel. There's plenty of channels out there that are they're promoting for new users on Linux. Um, you know, there's versions like Arch out there. You got to read a couple novels to understand how to use it. I don't like to read that much about how to run an operating system. Me personally, I just want to, you know, throw it in the operating system on a computer and it just runs. There are caveats, Leap, boom, straight forward, easy to install, upgrade. Tumbleweed, which is what I'm currently using. Actually, I use a derivative called Slowroll that's a slower version of Tumbleweed. It's a little bit more to run Tumbleweed, but not that much more. Once you know the basics, follow my tips and guides, get you up and running, no problem. openSUSE has a great installer. Technically, it's still in beta, but it's easy to use Agama. Just install it, and when you bring it up, it'll give you, I think, 4 choices for install. You can do Leap or Tumbleweed or Slowroll. I wouldn't do MicroOS. The MicroOS is a little bit harder, and that's server driven. One good side effect of the Linux being pushed for former Windows users is the hardware needs. Linux doesn't require the latest, greatest TPM or silicon just to run that operating system. So going to Linux may actually reduce e-waste. So if you're thinking about the environment, instead of throwing your computer away like Microsoft wants you to do to spend thousands of dollars to buy a new one, you put on Linux and save that computer. A lot of people will look at Linux and think of, oh, it's ugly. There's nothing to do there. No, you run like KDE. KDE is very user friendly, straightforward, close to the same operation as Windows, which is why I like it. I don't like Windows, but I like that functionality. And when you dive into it more, want to learn more, KDE is totally customizable. You can put those menu bars wherever you want. Your other option is GNOME. I personally don't like GNOME, but that's me personally. That's not telling you what to run. You can run GNOME if you want. It's, a great GUI interface. I believe the customization is less, from what I remember, than KDE. KDE, you can assign images down to the pixels if you want. I don't do that, but you can do that. Linux, for the most part, is welcoming to new users. You can find, my forums or my YouTube webpage, post comments, what videos you want to have created, what do you want to learn, you let me know, and I can definitely make videos, insights, and add them to my site for many more people to look into if they have that same issue. Got to remember, be patient and helpful. Explaining key difference between core Linux concepts in simple terms. That's for me. I'm going to make videos for everyone that hasn't used Linux, make them want to stay with Linux. There's many strengths. A lot of the programs that can run on Windows can also run on Linux, many different flavors of Linux, LibreOffice, GIMP. There's alternatives. I for a long time, Notepad++, I use that daily, but now I use Notepad QQ, which is a close alternative for a Windows-only program. But yeah, it's Linux is welcoming to Windows 10. In Linux, most of a lot of software is available for what's called Flatpak. So if you really are starting to learn, you might get a distro that works with Flatpaks. Tumbleweed does. Makes it easier to try software out to an extent. But once you learn it, you'll understand that Flatpak may or may not be suitable for everything you do. More advanced stuff, probably not so, just because of permissions. I use Flatpak for a few things. Chrome, I use Chrome as my daily driver. There's also, if you use Microsoft Teams for work, there's add-ins for Teams to make sure it works on your Linux flavor. What I'm saying is Microsoft is dropping support for Windows 10, and that's going to trigger a large amount of people to jump to Linux. It's when Windows 10, a lot of people may not be able to afford to go to Windows 11 because they got a $2,000 computer they got to buy, a decent computer, and they just may not have the funds to do that. College students, we're going to start seeing a lot of influx, hopefully, to Linux. It's a good thing, could be a bad thing too. You're going to see you'll see more people coming over just to test the waters. If you have a spare computer, you can put Linux on a spare computer. Linux will run on old hardware, which is kind of cool. If you have extra hard drive space, you can do dual boot. So when you turn on your computer, you can choose Linux or Windows 11. I personally don't like doing that. I personally like to just format the whole hard drive and go to my Linux operating system. Linux is my daily driver at home. I did not want to spend the money to go to Windows 11. I think my computer will run Windows 11, but I have no desire to do that. There's nothing that is saying you must do Windows. Work computer. I use AutoCAD on my work computer. Yeah, that won't run on my Tumbleweed install. Wish it would. I'd be running it at home, but I can't, so I don't. But I thought I'd make this little video here just to let everyone know the options out there. There are tons of videos out there trying to explain, come to my operating system. Try and try. You sticking with one. You don't have to. Well, Linux, there's 200 different distros out there. Try something easy. You got Ubuntu. You got Kubuntu, which is just the KDE version instead of GNOME. Tumbleweed, Slowroll, Leap, they all have a choice where you can do KDE or GNOME and other, Cinnamon desktops. And that's a choice that you can select right at the install of the operating system. You don't have to reinstall like on Tumbleweed. You can go in there and just say install GNOME if you're on KDE, and then you tell it when you next time you reboot, you go into this desktop, and it will do that. So you can have multiple desktops on a Linux install, which is cool, which is really cool. It gives you lots of options. If you'd like to try Linux, please feel free. You want to see more video and contents like this, please like and subscribe. We will see you down the road. Thanks. Bye.